It's a new year. And for me, it's a new season for me to evaluate where I am as a woman and where I am in the roles that I operate in as a woman. Because, like you, I operate in more than one role on a daily basis. One thing about this season is I am not one to set resolutions. I am one to set goals because I have learned in the past that setting goals is best for me because my seasons may be a month, a quarter, or even the entire year. But one thing that I have learned is that I cannot set my goals by myself. When I have set my goals by myself and without the Lord, I have experienced much frustration, anxiety, and oftentimes failure because as I'm working through those goals on a regular basis, trying to obtain them and praying, if I'm not lined up with the Lord, those are the things that I experience. That's just real for me. And so I've learned to take each season as it comes. And for me, again, the beginning of the year is an opportunity to begin a new season. And I take that time to step aside all by myself, physically, with the Lord, just me and Him. And I take a real, honest look at where I am. It's ugly sometimes through the process, but it is real and it is necessary for me. In the midst of that process, though, one of the things that I have learned to do is really receive God's grace. Because as I am sharing with Him and journaling and thinking, and sometimes, as I said, crying, God is so gracious to, in fact, meet me where I am and minister to my heart. And that helps me to really come up with real goals for me, for my household, for the many, as I said, roles that I play, whether it be for motherhood, for me as a wife, homeschooling, as well as for my business. So this takes time. I know for a lot of people, they sit down and they think and come up with a word for the year, or they think and they come up with a set of resolutions. Because I am playing so many roles, for me, I have to take some time. So in this process this year, all of the week before we actually celebrated coming into the new year, I took some time by myself, really just contemplating where I am, God's goodness, and where I'd like to go in consideration with where I really know in my heart that He's been leading me. And so with that, I listen. And in listening, it's not audible for me always. Oftentimes, God will speak to me in conviction. Again, as I'm sharing, I may receive conviction as to some of the decisions that I've made in the past or some of the considerations that I'm having going through the process. But because of who God is, I also receive affirmations. It's such a blessing to sit quietly with the Lord and hear Him affirm some of those things that I have done since the last time I set goals and sat with Him through that process. Another way in which the Lord will minister to my heart is through peace, giving me a sense of peace in this process of setting goals, of thinking and planning and hoping and dreaming. He ministers to my heart with a peace, a sweet, sincere peace. And that lets me know in this process that I'm on one accord, that with him, and that he is present with me in this planning. I'm excited about this year. I am excited because personally, I last year wrestled with submitting to God's will for me. In this time, this tightest woman time of my life, I dipped and dabbed in the submission of serving the Lord and serving the woman of God. And now, as I have surrendered, I am excited to just do what he has called me to do on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and I'm excited to see how it goes. I recognize that with all of the roles in which he has me in at this time, that it might not be easy. That it's going to take some discipline on my part, but I'm ready and I'm willing. And I'm wondering about you. Did you take time as we've entered into this year to set resolutions or to set goals? Share with me. Let me know. And let me know how I can be praying for you and possibly how I can support you. I don't know if you're aware, but I offer coffee and conversations specifically for you, women, as you embrace the Lord along your journey. I will put the link below as to how you can contact me so that we can encourage one another.